Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to the Last Epoch dev stream. As always, I'm your host, Mike, and let's hop right in. We're going to be continuing our gameplay of our Primalist that we were working on last time. We just managed to finish Spirits Firing out a sweet blessing. We're going to hop into one of these two. Let's go to last rune. We're just going to keep things going. This is a build focused around a Herald of the Scurry legendary that we found a couple streams ago that I'm still trying to find a base for to make into an actual legendary. And thank you for the raiding party! The Philosopher! Glad to have you with us. Just gonna muckle our settings a little bit. And as always, if you're new here, I have a... We'll answer any questions possible in chat. Please proceed the chat question with @LastEpochGame, and I'll see it and answer the question. Any and all proceeds from the stream go to our charity, which, as it was last week and continues to be for the rest of the month, it will be the MS Society. Hoorah! We had a lot of interesting things happen this week on the game, and I've got a few little treats to share with you a little later on. So if anyone's hoping for something fun to see, I've got something fun to see. I've also recently been preparing for a fence that I'm putting up. It's going up this weekend finally. Tomorrow morning, renting a big hole driller. Gonna put a fence. Ooh, 78 already, nice. Let's just aspect buff duration. A little bit of a quiet week as there's, you know, some interesting stuff happening. We're just gonna have some fun and keep playing. Our squirrels are quite strong. I feel like we could be doing harder content here pretty quickly. So I might rush through this one a little bit in hopes of getting to empowered quickly. We'll see what happens. Finally made it to stream. Glad to have you with us. Stay a while. Listen. Maybe say something if you want. We're gonna find boots on this character. I don't know what it is, but this character, they just love boots. Little teaser. So this is an image I showed last week or 2 weeks ago, I think. Here, and so the theme of this week is related. We'll say that. How to get the squirrels? The squirrels are a function of this item right here, Herald of the Scurry. This was a supporter unique that was done for Zizarin. We created this actually live on his stream, which was really cool. And if you go check out his stuff, you can see he'll have a physical version of the same helmet, which it's wild, but it looks surprisingly awesome. And so yeah, this switches wolves into squirrels and doubles them. So we're just like, we just realized that we had to double it, so we doubled it. And then we also use Frenzy Totem along with the Skirine Rage to get them attacking ultra crazy fast and just apply a ton of bleeds to our targets. A lot of armor shred, a lot of bleeds. And then we also create Claw Totems and Vines as we leap and swipe, which gets us even more minions to make even more bleeds. That's what we're all about, is this bleed stacking. And it's really great in the new patch coming up. Oh, we're gonna get, yeah! You actually can see the total number of stacks on anything, which is great. I know I keep saying it, but I love it. Let's see. At Last Epoch game here, we got a question. Do we have a Manifest Armor or Forge Guard rework incoming? Well, there's some interesting stuff related to that image you saw earlier. We'll see what that is in a little while. I didn't hear anything for that. That's weird. Well, Philosopher, thank you very much for using 40 bits. Look at that shamrock and look at that luck. I want a... I should make a filter entry for the helmet that I'm looking for, because I want a helmet, a exalted helmet, with some nice stats. It's basically just some minion stats on an exalted helmet would be really nice. Some health, maybe plus wolf skills. Wow, that was a short one. Is there a time frame for the Falconer subclass coming? Yes, it will be here. And I know this is not telling you anything. It's kind of a cop-out answer because you probably are aware of this already. But it will be here at the latest by 1.0. So that's the timeline. Which we don't know what 1.0 is, so it's hard to use that as an actual accurate time reference. But it's all we got. The music's missing. That true? Oh, wild. Yeah, so yeah, accurate but not specific exactly. The Falconer, Rune Master, and Warlock are the three missing master classes. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are pretty excited for those. So like how Primalist has all three of its masteries, Mage, Acolyte, and Rogue do not have all three of their masteries yet. But they will. What's a new community unique made affecting with the new unique community? I'm gonna try that again. Just a moment here. Ooh, Terrace Path, nice. With the new community unique made affecting Volcanic Orb, will we see a tree rework in this new patch? I'd love to see some more D2 like Frozen Orb with way more shrapnel. Not specifically, no. I don't have any. We haven't done any major reworks on. Come on, why is that disappearing? Frustrating. We haven't done any major reworks on any items yet, or any skills yet. Sorry. So we'll see what happens eventually, but I don't think there's a major rework coming for it now. Might be a few little things here and there. Just having the different element, it changes a lot of things you can do with it, and it changes a lot of the gear that work well with it. So there's a lot of like knock-on effects that just happen. Different nodes become good inherently. These squirrels take a second to get going, but as soon as they do, hooey, stuff just gets evaporated. What's the highest ailment stack count you guys have seen so far in testing? I've seen hundreds. It's a little nutty, but I've seen a few hundred. Hello, Master Sword. How's it going? Glad to have you here. Get those XP. I always go for these XP ones because like I feel like I'm quite frequently low level compared to the content I'm doing in the End of the Monolith. Might just be because I'm so awesome. Unlikely. Would also like to get a legendary version of Eric's Bones so I could put a little more melee fizz on it, so I can have it actually have swipe be a little bit more reasonable, because swipe's pretty weak sauce right now. Maybe just attack speed or something. It's pretty low level unique, so I should be able to find some pretty easily. That's 63. It's not as low as I thought. Love when they all jump with haste like that. Do we have a named squirrel? I don't think we have a named squirrel this time. That's okay. We'll pretend River's still here from last time. Somehow you're close to 100 hours in the game and you've never finished the campaign. Wow. It's impressive. We need Exalted One. We cracked it at the same time as getting here. Oh, we had a tough fight, but I think we can handle it no problem. Yeah, let's aggro some more things. Why not, right? Seeing some more questions about the helmet. Herald of the Scurry. It's a level 70 unique. It's tricky to get to drop. It's very tricky to get to drop with legendary potential as well. So it has a high legendary potential level. I'm pretty sure. I could go for a curry right now. Got the boys coming over tonight. We're playing Magic. I'm gonna make some pulled pork. Ooh, excited about that. Can you only get squirrels from that unique, or is it a modifier that can be on anything? It is unique to that helmet only. It's the only place you can get that effect is on that helmet. They're quite good for applying ailments. They have a bunch of stats that are cut because they're duplicated, but ailment application rate is not a stat that is cut. I do not believe. Could be wrong. Oh, they just get 45% less damage. It's a pretty big cut. But anything that scales off like number of bleed stacks or anything like that, oof. Oof. If anyone is just joining us, please feel free to ask any questions you'd like about the game in chat, and I'll be happy to answer them. I am one of the developers. I do. This is my day job is working on this game. I love it. Ooh, an LP Dreamthorn. Cool. That's really good. That's really good. Unique to like kind of get you through a lot of the game on a void night. Like get like a 2 LP Dreamthorn pretty easily. They'll power you through a huge portion of the game very handily in the late game. Okay, we've got some helmets here to make with our legendary potential unique. Okay, so no. Let's just list that's amazing on it, but yeah, minion bleed on hit, that's nice. Do we just pray for that? I think that one's the best one. Okay, let's do a little crafting. So if you've never made a unique or legendary before, you combine a exalted item, so purple, and a unique item with legendary potential, and it grabs affixes from the exalted item, the purple item, onto the unique equal to the number of legendary potential it has. So this is going to grab 1 affix from this helmet. But it's a random one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try and get as much stuff onto it as possible. As much good stuff as possible on it. Yeah, minion health, we'll take that. Do you like strength? Yeah, we like strength. Strength feeds this still, right? No, this is attunement. Ooh. Ew, maybe we don't like strength. Do we roll for something else? Yeah. Yeah. That'll do. That'll do. There's a lot of good stuff there. Do we want to re-roll this at all? Those rolls are nice. We're just gonna keep that as is. And let's go to what level is this? 70, so we've got to do T2 or T3. Should be fine either way, I think. Let's go to Temporal Sanctum. Oh, no. Reimer, what have you done? I have no waypoints. Okay. I'm just gonna chuck some of this stuff on the ground. Why not, right? That's pretty nice, actually. Like that, too. That'd be nice.
Yes.
Okay. Let's just keep going. I'm not gonna go find that waypoint. It's unfortunate. Alrighty then. For the favor system that has been briefly mentioned, can we expect another avenue for player power alongside gear, passives, etc., or is this some other kind of system? We don't have a lot of info that I can really share with you on it right now. It's still in the concept phase, so it's not been implemented. There's not enough room to really have anything concrete for it right now. It's a nice boots. What is going on with these boots? Are boots just really easy to find nice? Do I just like all the stats that are on boots right now? Yeah, might as well grab the chest. Not amazing. I'm not picking them up. yeah, so if you don't forget, if you have any questions, don't forget to at Last Epoch Game cheat account. So I do try and get different characters to play on stream frequently. Most of the time, I'll just pull someone's character on the team to like come play it on stream. Sometimes we make up characters specifically for the stream because I don't have a chance to play much. Is the game still on track for 2022 release, or has COVID caused issues? We're not really set on any specific date for release. The release date is when it's ready. Our goal right now is get multiplayer out and kind of see where it is from there. So much of our release schedule is based on quality, and we need to be able to tell. We need to be able to say like, okay, if something's wrong, we need the time. So we're just going to say when it's ready, we'll release it. Because we want quality to be rock solid by the time we say it's officially out. Game going on sale anytime soon? I don't think we have any specific sale dates planned at the moment. Usually those coincide with pretty predictable events. If you've been paying attention to the Steam sale catalog tracker stuff, whatever, they line up pretty well with normal sales there, generally. I have no idea if we have anything planned for the Steam Summer Sale or not. I'm fully just walking away from this objective. I can feel it. Come on. Why did I go the wrong way? I knew it was the wrong way. I even said it was the wrong way. Don't forget, if you've got a question for me, put at Last Epoch Game in front of the question, and I will see it and answer. But I think this one's meant for me. Are there plans to give Tempest Strike some love? I like the theme, but it feels like you need to make... Hi, Tobu. Feels like you need to make Jack of all trades, master of none with melee damage, spell damage, and minion damage. Yeah, it's got some issues right now. We're not actively tackling it at the moment, but we do know that it has problems and plan to address those problems. While it's a little underwhelming, it's not problematic in the sense that it doesn't look horrible, like I'll be illustrating later with some of my teasers that I've got planned. And it doesn't it doesn't cause just like gameplay issues, and it does exist, you know, like there's some issues, some bigger issues that exist with other abilities in the game that we got to address first. But it definitely needs help, and don't worry, that'll happen. Hey, what are your plans with the solo challenge once multiplayer releases? Will we see some sort of shared stash solo game mode? Love your game. Thank you very much. So solo is like a character solo. So it's like one character, go ahead and play. That's it. And so that'll remain isolated as it is a solo character on its own as we go forward.
Impossible.
No, it's possible. I'm telling you. Primeless, it's how we're gonna do it.
Impossible.
No, I'm telling you, that's how it's gonna be.
Impossible.
Okay, well, he doesn't believe me, but you guys should. And I just realized that I'm on the wrong side of the screen. As for the I think that the phrase you're probably looking for is like account or self-found, or like account restricted or something like that, where it's like you just don't interact with other players or trading or anything like that. And I don't think we have plans to separate things officially based on that, but you can just do that by not joining with other people with the regular game mode. There's like issues with splitting up the player base by too many different factors, and so you get several axes to split people up and several ladders to compete on, and like, oh, this character's a solo but not self-found character, this is a self-found but not solo character, this is a hardcore single player self-found, so like it's, you get so many modifiers on there that it's like when two people want to play together, having to like make sure that the characters are all in the same game mode is not a fun part of that. Yeah. Alright. Kamekanox! Oh, where's our pay to win? I have this shiny new credit card because Daddy needs some points to travel purse. Well, I'm sorry to disappoint you, but unfortunately, we don't have any pay-to-win mechanics. You know, like, we tried to put them in, and they just wouldn't work. We just couldn't get it to work. So we just had to give up and not bother. No, but seriously, we do not plan on adding pay-to-win mechanics. Pay to win, pay for convenience, pay for content. Like, it's, you buy the game, you can play the game. You should be on the same level footing as anyone else who's bought the game for everything gameplay. Why would playing with someone in the same game mode for having an option account found? I don't understand, sorry. Why would playing with someone in the same game mode matter for having an option for account found? Okay, so yeah, it's less about playing together in that, for that situation, and that's more about just having different ladders, having too many ladders. So there's different things we've considered for how to split up ladders, and so you get into, let's just look at the arena, because we have different end game systems that are competitive that you'll have different ladders for. And so let's just look at the arena on its own as the only ladders. Pretend nothing else has a ladder, because right now it doesn't, and just look at the arena. So if you have to split characters on, like, every time you split a character on something that can be combined with any other split, is it multiplies the total number of ladders that exist, right? By the number of options. So if you have softcore, hardcore, that multiplies the number of ladders. Let's say it starts at 1, the arena ladder. You have softcore, hardcore, now you have 2 ladders. And then let's say you have solo self-found as another ladder type. So that multiplies it, or not solo self-found, so that multiplies by 2 more. And then you split solo and self-found into 2 different categories, so suddenly it multiplies by 2 more, and you have 8. And then you look at the arena, and do we split the arena by, like, 8's already too many. Do we split the arena by group size? This is the kicker, because I think it's actually more relevant and more important for ladder split decisions, is group size. So you have 4 people in a group max. Now, do you have like, do you have a different ladder for if someone's solo 2, 3, 4s? That's suddenly 4 different ones. So you have to take that 8 and multiply it by 4. So we suddenly have 32 ladders, and it's really problematic. So we're definitely not going to do all of those things. And you start looking for ways to combine some that are close enough together where it's not a huge advantage one way or the other, or maybe you can filter by it or something like that, but it's still keeping the same ladder. It's really tricky where the line between a filter setting and a different ladder comes in, because really it's all just one ladder with different filter settings. In reality, that's what it is. but the way that information is displayed and the way we view that information and talk about that information changes how that actually what it actually means for how it's split up, whether it feels like a filter setting or feels like a different ladder. So yeah, likely what I expect we'll see is we'll have 6 ladders. Is that right? 6? It's not 6, maybe it's 8. There's a lot. There's too many. There's too many options. And then it changes every league, every season. You know, like it changes again. I think you'll find the current audience is quite fond of SSF or account found game styles, since that's what the game effectively is, and I think it's unfortunate not to support that audience. Well, so I'm not saying we don't support that audience. Like, SSF and account found are 2 very different things, and currently we have it split on those 2 axes right now. And so you'll still be able to play on effectively account found, but there just won't be a different ladder for people who are playing account found and those that are playing with trading in like. And I mean, maybe if we get enough feedback, people want it, we can look into it. I think that the issues, like the actual, like if you're gonna put like a count restriction on it to be account found only and like not interact with anyone else, but still any part of your account or whatever, it's gonna be a pretty tiny percentage of the population that really cares to do that compared to just playing normally online. And I could be very wrong with that. And like we'll keep looking at the data and adjust accordingly. But right now, I doubt it's something that would actually be interesting for most players as a distinction between account found and just normal. Will Ellie be free to play on release? Ellie's cost model will not change between now and release, so it'll still be the same sticker price to purchase the game, and there won't be a monthly subscription. So it'll be you buy the game and you can play it. Pretty simple system. Boomer Therapy, if you've got a question, please put at Last Epoch game in there, because it's your first one. I do see it also highlighted, so that's okay. How is multiplayer closed testing going? Great. I think we started another one today, actually. Right? I think we started another one today. I'm just like horribly wrong about that, probably. A week today! It's next week. We're starting another one. Anyone who's a CT in chat is just going like, oh my god, what? It's up? No way! It's not up, sorry. False alarm. I'm kind of just doing this lazy. I forgot that I'm supposed to be rushing through this, and I went back into relax mode. So it's basically splitting up solo and self-found to be different modes is the possibility, because self-found implies that things were all found by yourself. It's account found, self-found, and then solo is that character is on its own and doesn't have any interaction or help from any other characters. So
Impossible.
yeah, you can also do not So this is the thing. Like, do you then have an option for not solo, but still self-found characters, where you can say, okay, I don't have access to any sort of trading system at all, but I can complete content with other people. And it's like, it's so much of this is, where's the line drawn on distinctions? Because if you allow self-found and solo to be independent modes that are combinable, it adds more modes than adding it so that they where they're it adds an extra mode if you have self-found but not solo as a game mode. So if you have like solo, self-found, and solo self-found as 3 game modes, it adds more options that are possibly not necessary. Because if someone's doing solo self-found, oh god, if someone's doing self-found, solo's likely something they want to do as well. If someone's doing solo, no. Sorry, I get confused with this sometimes, and I'm making mistakes as I say this. I'm not trying to. So there's self-found, things where you found the item yourself, but you may not have been solo in the map. I think that is a very rare game mode for people to actually want and to play in. And if we were going to split it, I think that one wouldn't appear as an option. Do you think more people would do Arena if there were more save points to restart from, rather than having to redo so many waves over and over again? I think so. Maybe yes. I think the biggest problem with it right now is the scaling speed of it. I think it should get harder faster, so that we're not seeing 1,000 wave runs as something to compete in. Because right now there's a lot of endurance factor. I don't know if endurance is like something we want to have be a major factor in arena pushing. Like, can you sit at your computer for 1,000 waves, or like leave it running at a mid wave break, or mid run break for a long time, you know? Will there be seasonal challenges to complete for rewards or something similar in latter seasons? Yeah, we're not exactly set on how that's going to look specifically, but yeah, there will be specific content for each latter season, and you'll get different rewards based on interacting with that or not. Sometimes that'll come in the form of new content and or new challenges, or new MTX that's available, new skills. It can be basically anything. I think we just clicked that midair. That was pretty cool. Like Mario grabbing the flagpole. Just need 1,000 wave simulator. Yeah. Because we do have the arena key of memory that lets you start halfway to where you were. Which I think saved a lot of the problems with it, but still might not be quite aggressive enough. There's a weird exalted item. That's a weird exalted item. That's really rare to see. Just a single exalted stat and nothing else? It's kind of cool. Kinda want to keep it. Give me that XP. Give me that XP. You found a single Exalted with health today? Yeah, that's nice. Because Exalteds come with a fair bit of forging potential, so when they have that, you can you just work on them like an open slate a little bit, right? Put exactly what you want on them. That would be a cool reward, to have items where it's guaranteed that all of the mods are exalted, but it doesn't guarantee how many mods the items have. So you get a lot of just like single mod items, but you get some like 2 mod items, 2 mod exalted. Hey Nicholas, how's it going? Trying to push through this as quickly as I can. Squirrels are just doing work. They just get so angry. Forgot it was Friday. Well, happy Friday to you. Who's the first? Oh, we're gonna have a stream on Canada Day. Oh. It does, yeah, Kane. It falls on Canada Day. I don't know. I kind of want to not be working on Canada Day, but if I had to do anything with work on Canada Day, this would definitely be it. There's an XP one. Come here, my pretty little experience. Have you guys ever thought of a ultra rare currency like mirrors from PoE? Maybe. That can add 1 to 4 LP, but have it weighted so a 1-2 is more average from TIS, and 3-4 ultra rare. So yes, we have. Oh wait, did Last Epoch exist in the game? Oh, that's not a second. Sorry. Have we considered an ultra rare crafting material with that can add LP to uniques? Absolutely, we considered it. We intentionally said no, that we weren't going to do it, specifically because it creates an additive rarity to legendary potential on uniques, and that it skews the chance to get it a lot. So say you have like two items that can drop, that can cause like 2 different things. Once you add a second item to the pool that can give that unique legendary potential, the item itself just having legendary potential, or this other unique that gives it legendary potential, the chances of having a legendary potential version of a unique that you want is the chance of each of those dropping independently added together. So it's an additive chance modifier, not a multiplicative chance modifier. And multiplicative chance modifiers, you can have be really small effects. So you can be like, okay, well this will actually increase the overall chance of getting legendary whatever item by maybe like 1%. But if you have something that's additive, it will frequently do it by way more. So the only way we could actually make that be possible, but still be like reasonable to add into the game without having to also simultaneously nerf the chance of getting legendary potential on the item, or just the drop rate of that item overall on the ones that are really rare, we would basically have to make the chance of this thing dropping so ultra mega rare that it's just there's no point in having it. So it's one of those things where it causes too many like, why is this so rare moments on other items by adding it in. So we can't really add it in. Long-winded way of saying yes, we considered it. Sorry, it's not happening. It's possible that it could be done as a reward for a very specific challenge. That's maybe possible to do. So we've looked at that as a reward for a dungeon, but it still has the same additive effect. Yeah. It's a cool item. Wait, is Last Epoch a Canadian game? Last Epoch is an international game. Technically the home office, so to speak. Home office is in the States. I think there's more people in the States than anywhere else, but there's people all over the world. So it's very international. We're a fully remote team. I am in Canada. There's several other Canadian members on the team. For a long time, it was just me. Actually, no, not that long. We had our second Canadian member join pretty early, actually. But yeah, we've got people all over. And I like to say, throw a dart at the map. You'll likely hit somewhere that a country we've got someone in, and part of that's because we've got people in the biggest countries geographically, but partially also because just so many countries. I found a really cool website, just a little aside here. I found a really cool website that lets you see different map projections of Earth. And it's wild to see the size of the country shift so dramatically based on the projection style you're using for the map. And it's crazy to see, like, because there's a lot of problems in the size of certain things and the distance between certain objects of some map projections that we use really frequently to show kids from a really young age. And it causes people to be a little unclear as to why certain things are true. Like, and this goes back to let's not get bogged down with the politics of this. Someone at some point said this and got ridiculed for it. Well, they should have been ridiculed for it. It was for a different reason, not for what they actually said, but why or when they said it. Anyways, regardless, back to what it is. You can see Russia from the States. They are close enough to view each other from the shores of their borders. It's basically abandoned part of Russia and extremely remote part of Alaska. But it's true, and looking at most maps, you would have no idea that that is true. So I just think it's cool. Oh, what have I done? Getting a lot of bonus stability in this one. My goodness me. Turn it on. Let's go. Bring everyone. We got it. Oh, here we go. Is the question. I love the game, but I have noticed that some of the sound effects and abilities don't quite have the weight crunch that I feel like they should. Playing with just sound design in the future, everything's constantly being improved, and sound design is one of those things. We do have a wonderful sound engineer that's going through and knocking out new sound effects all over the place constantly. So yeah. An RPG really needs super rare chase items to keep people playing more than 2 or 3 weeks into League. I agree. Especially if there is any form of trading in the game. PoE has a good balance when it comes to this, but it's super important that players can make fun, powerful builds without them as well, or they just get frustrated. I agree. I don't think there's anything wrong with anything you just said there. I think we're doing a pretty good job of that too, because we do have some extremely rare items that will take longer than 2 to 3 weeks of most people playing to get for sure. And they're not really necessary. Most of them, anyways, are not really necessary to turn on a build. Or there's always like a better version of them you could get if you do get one. Any idea when we will get another development update? Not sure exactly. I'd hope pretty soon. Sabo Monster has subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much. DMS Society appreciates it. I would assume they do at least. Probably shouldn't speak for them. Be surprised if they didn't. Any consideration for even higher levels of rarity for some items? Not even the most powerful items, just kind of items that give rush up. Wow, I actually found XYZ. I mean, like, I feel like we've already got items in that category. Like, raise your hand if you actually dropped a Ravenous Void. Like, raise your hand if you've got a legendary Ravenous Void. You're probably lying if you still got your hand up, you know? There's a few items in that category as well, and there's some crafting items that like this is not dropped very frequently at all. I think there's also room for some maybe incredibly rare fun items that don't necessarily have high power. I know it's kind of weird for that to be a thing, but just like, I guess it kind of falls into the Easter egg category at that point. Thank you very much, Mautobu has subbed with Twitch Prime. Thanks, bud. Stick around, you might learn something. Someone I've known for a very long time, so.
Impossible.
Frodo Fragrance, yes, it was Sarah Palin that I was referring to. Is there a way to see the attributes an item had before you crafted on it? Because sometimes I'm confused what an item, when an item is slightly lower affixes drops, but due to the crafting potential, it might still get better than my current one. There's no history. There's no item history. Short answer, no. And I don't think we could. Okay, we could add that. It's true. It would really dramatically increase the size of item files. I doubt we would do that anytime soon. So though you have a 2 LP Ravenous Void, that is unbelievably awesome. That's like what I mean, what do you even try and put on that, right? Do you try and go like generic so it works in basically any build so you can use it like in anything, or do you try and go really specific to make one thing the best it can be? So it's less reusable, but it's stronger for the thing you're gonna use it on. I guess it depends if you're an alcoholic or not. You had it for 3 to 4 months, too scared to actually use it. Yeah, I mean that's the thing. So like, there's an ultra mega rare item right there. Would a crafted tag on the mod be solution viewable for the account holding it? Yeah, I mean, so that doesn't add too much more data to the item. It does add more data to the item. It would add 4 bits or 4 units to the string. Not really string, but the number. Which does increase the amount of data by a lot. You basically have to assume every time you're like building a system with network transfer, you kind of have to assume that every single call is the worst case call. And then again, it's an exaggeration, oversimplification. But it still has to perform reliably if someone's sending a call that has like dozens of items that have that modification on every single mod. It's worth nothing because it's single player. No, it's worth a ton of bragging rights. That's what it's worth. I realized, so I got guys coming over to play Magic tonight, and I realized that my kitchen table is not really big enough on its own for that many people. So I had like a little folding card table that I was like trying to set up in my kitchen to like fit. It was too big, so I said, you know what? Don't care. I'm going. Like pushed everything in the living room away from the wall, up to the walls, like moved into other rooms. I'm gonna drag my kitchen table into my living room. We're gonna play Magic there. I'm stoked. The wife's visiting the in-laws. Well, my in-laws. Took the kid with her. The house is gonna turn into a gaming den for a week. It's perfect. The true nuts build. Nice. You should stick around and keep bringing that fire. I like it. Probably gets asked a lot, but will there be some kind of integrated trading market in multiplayer? We've still yet to describe to the public exactly what's going to happen. We are planning to have a system by which items you find will not be exclusively only for you. And it is possible to obtain items from something other than dropping them yourself. It's about as specific as I can get right now, and I know that's like the most vague definition of a trading system that ever existed, but sadly that's all I got for you. EDH? Yes, EDH. Absolutely EDH. Got some spicy brews coming up. I really like taking colors and like trying to break the pie with them. So like, and blue's my favorite color to do this with. So I played a blue landfall deck a while ago that was a lot of fun, which is usually primarily a green mechanic, but it can be any colors. So mono blue landfall. Now I'm building a mono blue aggro deck. Blue's usually not the aggro color at all, so you know, gotta keep people guessing. Be like, oh, mono blue deck, no big deal. Aggro. You know. When multi drops, is there going to be a currency system attached to it for people that want to trade? I don't really have any details for you yet on that. Sorry. Umbral Blades, overpowered or just really good and flexible with the fix to flurry, exacerbating the comparison problem. Yeah, I think it might be a little on the strong side. I don't think it's crazy out of bounds. But I think it would be a little on the strong side. There's some changes to ailments coming that I think will diversify the build options available to it and bring some of the more extreme build possibilities back in line a bit. Without, you know, nerfing into the ground. Because even if you nerf it a bunch, it still ain't in the ground. But I don't think there's any, like, direct, like, nerf that ability planned at the moment. Alright. Where are we going? Let's go this way. Should I call this character Air Jordan? Those leaps are huge. Alright. Sounds like you need a garage. Oh, I have a garage. However, I built this lovely office in it. It's quite small. It's like half my garage. My living room is the exact same size as the whole garage, just directly above it. Also got my 3D printer going now in the garage. Fantastic. Now Tobu in chat and I have been doing a lot of that together. He got one at the same time as I did. And we've been he's been modding his a lot, and could do some crazy stuff. Mine is almost completely stock still. I'm just like, it prints stuff, it's good. With the new Baldur's Gate release too. Yeah, Baldur's Gate just released today. Full release, pre-release was last weekend. Got the Party Time pre-con that I bought. Gonna go pick that up this evening. We've got a draft box that we're gonna do too. Probably not tonight. But the Commander draft sets, they're just done so well. It's unbelievable. Started working on a cube. Haven't got much into it yet. But we get 8-6 or 9-0 in September. Probably one of the two. And it might not be September. Could be earlier, could be later. It's sometime September-ish, there and abouts, roughly. Lots of info, right? Just such a wealth of info about details and timelines. I'm sorry, it's so much of it is can change. Like someone can have a breakthrough on a project that we planned for 2 weeks and it just slides into place and everything's great in 2 days, or sometimes a project that we're like, this should be over in an hour, it takes a month, you know, like there's so much of that where sometimes it swings really hard one way or the other, and it affects timelines. I mean, we're constantly making tweaks to how when we're going to do what order we're going to do things in, and what our goals for each patch are, and all of that, it changes so rapidly. That's really difficult to provide accurate estimations, other than like the alternative is really to provide accurate estimations and just make them so far in the future that like we can do that for sure. Yeah. I apparently already answered some question that someone asked. Cool. How will you tackle real money trading if it becomes an issue? Yeah, I mean, so this is some of those things that's going to depend very heavily on what's allowing real money trading to thrive, and exactly it will affect how we approach it for sure. The most important part about dealing with that is providing a positive play experience for the people who aren't cheating's the wrong word, who aren't using the RMT system. So focusing on not ruining the game for people who are playing it the way it's intended, I think is the key approach there, where if we're like, oh, we can stomp out RMT completely, but it's going to make everyone's lives suck, probably not a good solution to do. Or, you know, like maybe there's the option is there's a second option. There's a second option there at the same time that's like, well, it doesn't remove it completely, but it makes it so it's kind of poor and inefficient or something like that. But it doesn't affect everyone else who's playing normally. We'd probably go with that second option. And I say probably and everything because it's on a case by case situation. But the focus will always be keeping the game fun and engaging and enjoyable and all these things for the people who are, you know, respecting the intention and respecting the rules and all that. And a big part of that, having that game for everyone who is following the no RMT guidelines type thing, is and RMT is one of those weird things where stamping out RMT stuff is something that helps make non-RMT gameplay fun because you're not competing with people who are paying money when you're not. So yeah, it's definitely a fine line and a tricky thing to answer. Hopefully I'll give you some idea of the approach we would take to it, though, in the event that it happened. A lot of times it's something as simple as just like being able to detect the accounts it's happening on and banning them. And when there's a sticker price on the game, every time you ban someone, they have to pay $35 to get back in, right? So like, if you can find an account that's providing a lot of RMT services, and you can ban that account before they make $35 worth of profit. Not $35 worth of profit. Like they have to be able to make $35 worth of profit every time within the time frame that it takes us to find and ban them, in order for the account to be viable to continue to do that. At just absolute minimums, so they're not losing money with each account. And then we have a bunch of leeway there because as long as we're just making it harder than it is to keep up and make a reasonable profit, people won't bother. Also, the nature of the trading system as a whole will probably make RMT really difficult to do effectively. Real close to getting that full bar. We're definitely gonna power through this one. This single monolith in this go through. Buffs versus nerfs. Which we getting more of next update? I have no idea because we've not even done a tiny fraction of the buffs or nerfs that will happen next update. Quite frequently, buff nerf details happen. There's usually something that'll happen like really early in the patch where we're like, okay, this is the way it was last patch, this has to change, we'll make a big change, we'll play with it for a long time. And then as we get closer to, as we go through the patch cycle, we're adding new things, there's a lot of new content coming in that changes the relative power level of a lot of different things. Sometimes adding a new item will buff a skill, or adding a new item will make another skill actually worse by comparison because there's, you know, that it pushes another one further ahead or something. And so after we've added all of or most of the items and skills and levels and content and all these things, so adding content can change the overall balance because so you add, say, fire damage is really bad, and you add content where fire damage is really good, suddenly all the fire damage builds become better just based on the content that's available. So we usually do a lot of the fine detailed patch balancing a lot closer to launch. Some of it we like to do far out so we can test it, make sure it's stable, but little things like, okay, let's say swipe does 5% more damage, you know, like that, a buff like that is likely not something that we would do. We would need a lot of time to test and make sure it was good. Swipe probably doesn't need a buff. It's pretty strong. There will be a lot of them, though. When the initial base class were designed, was the intention of the devs to make some classes have better endgame potential and others with better early game potential? No, not at all. Mad props to whoever built the loot filter system. I have been building rules engines with C# expressions tree and holy penis struggle. Yeah. I know who that was, and he is a wizard. What are your thoughts on sites like D2JSP? Talk for hours on D2JSP. Yeah. I'd rather not get too far into D2JSP specifically. There's an inherent danger in, and I guess we can use sites set up the same way D2JSP is set up, partially because there's a lot of potential for players who are interacting with. How do I say this? The line between what's a first-party and third-party service can blur really easily. And if a site becomes large enough and ubiquitous enough with the game, it can feel like a first-party feature. And whenever those first-party, those third-party features that feel like first-party features can deal with real money, there's a potential for people to get burned and attribute that feeling of being burned with the game, which is unfortunate, and it's totally fair for those people to feel that way, but it sucks for the people who make the game. And there's an incredible amount of power in D2JSP's system with the site creators, and I'm trying really hard not to say that there's anything inherently bad or wrong about D2JSP, because there's a lot of people that use it and love it, and it works absolutely great for them. And there's a lot of people who have tried to use it and had a really poor experience. And I wouldn't say it's large enough that it's ubiquitous and gets blurred with being a third-party, first-party thing at all. I'm just kind of trying to use it as an example of what could happen. Yeah, I hope that gives a little insight. I know I said a lot without actually saying much. I said a lot of words, but didn't say a lot of things. Yeah. When can we expect multiplayer? I'm sorry, I don't have a specific time for you. Basically, when it's ready. I think D2JSP is also a really interesting case because it is, it's from a lot older point on the internet. You know, like, the internet grows up fast, and people on the internet don't grow up very fast sometimes, but you know, it's another issue. But the internet itself, I think, changes quite quickly, and the technology that comes along with it can change, you know, what's good, what's bad, what's right, what's wrong, pretty easily. So what D2JSP was 10 years ago is really not what it is today as well. I think we're going to hop into getting the boss pretty soon here. Any spoilers this week? I thought you'd never ask. I do have spoilers this week. As soon as I beat the boss, I have a sweet spoiler for you. I teased what the teaser is going to be earlier today. It's related to something I posted 2 weeks ago. I can give you a little. So it's related to this image here. Ooh. Almost died. All the spoilers. All the spoilers. It looks very paladin-y. I think it says on it what it references. Another glyph of despair. That's pretty sweet. We're there. Let's go for gold. I almost went for it. So any chance you release Warlock before I buy the game tomorrow morning? No. I can tell you it's not coming out tomorrow morning. That's for sure. Sorry. So you're saying there's a chance? No, I'm saying there's not a chance. And do this as well. Warlock's not coming next patch either. Warlock's not coming next patch. Well, unless something horrible changes, but there's no plans for Warlock next patch right now at all. What are your goals for September 3rd to celebrate your birthday since you made it a September post? I I love the way you word that. Trying to get me to slip. Trying to get me to spoil something here. I can say that there's some pretty cool stuff planned for the in and around somewhere September-ish roughly patch. That's real cool. The question here again, will the patch in September 8690 will the patch in September be 8690? So I did answer this before. The patch that is roughly somewhere September-ish in and around there could be either one of those things. I don't know which one it'll be. I think likely it'll be 8.6. It's planned to be 8.6. It's so far off, guys. It's so far off. It's so hard to tell what's gonna happen that far off. And I think we kind of set that date so far out because it's just like a lot's gonna change between now and then, and we'll have a better idea closer to it. As of today, what are the devs' thoughts on where melee builds stand in LA versus spell range builds? It's so tricky because there's such a big diversity in melee builds. So like, and not all melee builds are created equal, right? So like Warpath is a melee build. It's so unbelievably different than even Flame Reef. That's a melee build, right? Like, and it's hard to kind of make a generalized statement there. I think that there might be a little too many boss mechanics that favor ranged builds right now, if I'm gonna make a generalized statement. And most of the time we try and give melee builds better defensive options. There's less need to interact with as many of those big mechanics, but sometimes it's not really it doesn't come through fully, and you end up just spending less time DPSing because you have to move and you can't attack from a certain range, which is sort of the inherent. It's like that's the push and pull of melee versus ranged. Is usually melee builds are beefier, tankier, can handle more stuff, but you know the area on the screen that you're capable of dealing damage to an enemy in is smaller. And I can see there's some mechanics I've seen suggested that would favor melee more. And sometimes we do try and slip in boss mechanics where we're like, well, this hits range, this hurts ranged only, or this hurts melee only, and we'll definitely put those mechanics in pretty intentionally. Sometimes putting them side by side. Sometimes the version of that mechanic, like say we put in one that's like really hard on range and one that's really hard on melee, and we put them side by side, but the one that's really hard on melee ends up being worse to deal with. It can sometimes cause issues. A fix would be giving melee skills take X less damage for 1 or 2 seconds after hitting an opponent in melee range. I mean, Vengeance does have something similar to that, basically. And a lot of people do use that.
Who are you?
I am me. Who are you? That, like, a mechanic like that we wouldn't put across the board. Like putting that on specific abilities, specific classes, that sort of stuff works a lot better. Oh my god. No one could have seen this development from happening. How will we ever recover? Nice. Nice. Should stay for the loot. Looked like something good. Question here. Also, don't forget to put at Last Epoch if you got a question, and I will see it. I apologize if I missed some of them here, but there's a couple here. What's your opinion on the current state of set items in the game? They're generally not strong enough, but not all of them, you know? Any plans on adding specialized stash tabs, like a unique tab for us, collectaholics? Nothing specific at the moment, but I do think it's a really good system. There's a lot of niceties in the stash. The stash could use, I think, a glow up overall, some new features, some fixes that need to get put in still too, for some long-standing old bugs. So the stash needs some help. Needs like affinities, like tab affinities is a really good system that it could use still. Having a unique tab, a collectible tab, or like there's a couple ways to do that collectible tab system. You can do it in like a specific tab that has like a certain slot for each item. So you have like a specific shaped slot for each item. Or then you can also do something along the lines of having just like an achievement tracker with a big list. So it's like there's Grail quests and living Grail quests, and it's kind of like the difference between did I collect everything at some point and do I have everything now. And I'm not sure how important the do I have everything now part of the Grail quest is for people, or just the way to reliably track whether or not you have once had it and have completed the challenge or not. So I think that's some feedback we'd probably want to get from people who do that sort of thing frequently. Because I don't think anyone wants to actually keep, you know, like an Eterra's Path in their inventory or something like that if they're not going to use it. Like, great, you've got it. Drop it on the ground. Who cares? I don't want it anymore. Any plans to put more content to do with Monolith map before multiplayer? Unlikely. I think multiplayer will happen first. Ooh, nice little whip. That's why you should break. That's why you should take a page out of Link's book and smash those pots. Come on, get that Prophet of Agony. Move. It's spicy. It's too spicy for me. And I like spice, let me tell you. Who are you?
Help me.
Oh yeah, welcome. Alright, let's do this. Leroy. We named a squirrel Leroy in the neighborhood because he runs down the middle of the street very brazenly. Every day you see him just booking it down the center of the street. It's like wherever he's going, he might die when he gets there. Another thing to make melee skills deal more damage than range skills, so you could either go safe and ranged or big boy damage in melee, but the balance between melee and range is a huge problem in every ARPG. I don't know if I'd fully agree with that. But the balance between, the difference between PoE is so huge right now that basically no meta build is melee. Yeah, I mean, there are definitely extremely strong melee meta builds in other RPGs that are by far the strongest builds in the entire game. Are melee builds in some RPGs. Hello, love the game so far, but the re-leveling of the specialized skills makes it tiresome after a certain amount of time. Plans to change that? No plans at the moment. No.
Last refuge is gone, and iron ore that is left.
One thing you can do if you have plans to re-level several skills, you can go into a high-level monolith and find a. Oh my goodness, Mike, you know better. Like running to the outside like an idiot. Okay, let me just pretend that didn't happen for a second. Yep. It's not embarrassing at all. Totally fine. Totally fine. Here's the someone wanted the link to the build. That's the build that I'm following right now. Pretend what didn't happen. Exactly. How's my Ellie res? Pretty great too. Wow. Can we do? Let's do crafting break. Mike's gonna craft. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Yeah, get some. All right. We'll take that. Sure. All right. Oh, that's good. I don't need Ellie res anymore. Just yes, that's what I'm talking about right there. All right. Hybrid health. Yeah. Oh, it's like 3 crits, like back to back to back. Something's going on. Should bleed, yes. Minion bleed, yes. Oh, less good there. Fizz, Void Res, I think it's more important to get right now. Sure, that shield sucks. Okay, minion health, minion damage. Okay. You know, I think we got a little bit of a buff going on there. Let's come in here and grab something else. Is there anything that we really want? Yeah, let's just get some more strength and melee fizz and minion melee fizz. Okay. I think that was a significant upgrade. Boys in the office enabled streamer RNG for you? Yep, every day. What's the leak you said you're gonna do after the boss? Oh, just let me try one more time. It's just so quick. Let me just try one more time. I promise. Look, I was answering a question, didn't I? What are your thoughts on Ward and the state of Ward currently? It's such a broad question. I think something's missing from the Ward. Oh gosh. What's going on here? Come on. I'm just gonna stand back and let them fight. What am I doing? I don't know why I'm even trying. Yeah, you guys got it. I believe in you.
My magic has no equal. Perish.
Good job, guys. Way to go. I'm not afraid. You're doing great. Oh gosh, I'm afraid. Ward. Something's missing from like the Ward calculations as a whole. You know, like the state of Ward. There's just like there's some it factor that's not quite fallen into place. I'm not sure what it is. Oh my god. Yes! Alright, stay with me, squirrel buddies! Let's go body armor. Why not? Oh, guess first. Don't need it. That's okay. Pet cheerleader. Build. Yeah! Go squirrels, you can do it. Oh, my camera was on the wrong side of the screen. That's the whole problem right there. That's it. That's it. A lot of the goals around Ward are having it be like an active play style of defense that spellcasters can invest in, and it's hard to get that balance in just the right place, where there's like interesting ways to generate it that don't get completely out of hand at the top end, and having the low end still be functional and have it work for you there. It's in a tricky spot, and we're definitely working on massaging those numbers still. But I think it's in a better spot than it has been for a long time. And by better spot, I don't mean like more powerful. Just to be clear. Any Tempest Strike damage changes to make it good coming? There's no changes to it yet, but that doesn't mean it won't change, so to speak. Alright, I did promise. Some stuff happened that I missed completely. Singing Game STV has reset for 2 months in a row. I need to put someone to remind me so each month, to sub each month because I always forget. I believe in you. And Infinite Loop 42 has subbed for with Twitch Prime. Thank you very much to both of you. Glad to have you here. Hope you're having fun. Stick around and you'll see some cool things. Like right now. Here's a cool thing. Now, okay. So this is, we've got the old and the new version of a skill. The visual display for a skill. That I'm going to show you right now. I'm not going to say which side. So it's going to be a side-by-side of the old one and the new one. And I'm not going to tell you which one's the old one and which one's the new one. Because it can be tricky to spot the difference, but I want to see who can spot the difference first. So if you think you see the difference, let me know what it is. Here we go. Can anyone see the difference? Only the true detectives among you will be able to spot the difference. Yeah, you just get Pam. They're the same thing. So yeah, you may have noticed that the sword and shield are a little reminiscent of the image we showed you previously. Those were the early model versions of the sword and shield for manifest armor. It's getting a little bit of a glow up, you know. We think it's a little bit better. The the one on the left was made by taking the Sentinel, oh no, taking the Primalist, and equipping some gear to it that we had, and then replacing the character texture with this like blue glowy VFX effect that we got out of some pack somewhere, that gave it like a lightning body that was holding the armor together. And finally, we have an actually properly modeled specifically for this ability character. And that's not that image you see. That's not like concept art. That's a screenshot. That's what it looks like. So pretty sweet. And then I've got the I've got a turnaround for you of that later that I'll show you as well in a little bit, just to get a better view of it. Sad you like the old one better? Eh. Fair enough. To each their own, I guess. Can't please everyone. Something, something. We're going with the new one. Concept art book for purchase when? I know. That I have a oh, I don't even know where it is. It's buried somewhere here probably. Oh, I have the Zelda, the big green Zelda book. It's the first place they published the official timeline. And just a bunch of concept art from all the games. And oh my god, it's great! I love that book. And it's got like concept art from like 15 different Zelda games, but it's so cool. I'd love to do something like that. That was a big undertaking for them, I'm sure. The new art for Orb Decay, will it change appearance if you switch it to necrotic damage? Yeah. Does it not do that already? Am I crazy? Love the AFK pet builds. I'm here. I'm helping. I'm totally a member of this chatter. Or Scurry? Harold? Scurry is a group. Yeah, Scurry is a group of squirrels.
Die, human. Impossible.
The eagle-eyed among you may notice that the title of the stream is a reference. Ah. This is a cool build. Thank you. You can. Reimer is the one who created this build for me. I'm quite enjoying it. Fear Leaf Swipe, just like it's. There's nothing really overly exciting and interesting about Fear Leap and Swipe, but it just feels good. It's dialed in. The mechanics are tight. It's like, I don't know, it's just nice. Like, I'm gonna jump at you and I'm gonna punch you in the face with my hammer or whatever. You know, like, it's great. There's lots of different ways to build it. Do elemental damage, physical damage. You can do it for proccing stuff. You can do it to empower minions. I like that. You can do it element focused. Come on, spawn faster, guys. What's going on here? Zizaran got really depressed when someone predicted that Scurry would get nerfed. Okay. I don't think it's been nerfed. Why did it get nerfed? Like, it's really good, for sure. The ranges on it, the roll ranges on it are absolutely humongous. Like, the chances of finding a really good Herald of the Scurry is so low because, like, there's a 70% range here. Like, the top end on some of these is like 5 to 75%. It's such a humongous difference in power. And with it on so many of them, like, the chances of finding a really good one are so low. I feel like the zones in Last Epoch are kind of empty, want more mob density. Yeah, some zones are a little low on enemies, and there's a problem. I think there's a problem that still exists on live. I know we fixed it. I don't know if it made it into a patch or not, where the combination of certain enemy types can cause a very small number of very large enemies to appear, and it causes it to feel kind of empty. A lot of times you're also comparing it to Path of Exile, which I think may have a little bit overwhelming density in some instances, not the usual case, but sometimes when you're getting into like really extreme maps, the density gets a little on the high side. We're also still dealing with performance issues that we are working very hard towards to make better, that make having more enemies on the screen possible with keeping frame rates better. Also taking a little bit different approach to combat in general as far as pacing and scale. So I've been on WoW Mount Collection binge. My goodness, you got the work cut out for you. My question is, what collectibles that the player can show off you as planning to collect in the future we can obtain in game? Oh, great question. I don't have an answer for you at all. That's the sort of stuff that I think we'll be focusing on more later, so to speak. I wouldn't call that core gameplay functionality. Definitely very useful for like player retention and longevity, and extending that fun. And I think it's very valuable to have. It's not as valuable to have if core functions and core gameplay is not rock solid and awesome. So that stuff's got to come first. There's lots of things that we talk about when we play and we're like, okay, yeah, like this is something we need. Eventually it's going to happen. But here's a pile of stuff that we have to do before we release. So everything that's in this doesn't need to happen before release pile. That's going to go over here for now. And we'll get back to it, and we'll figure out when that's going to happen in relation to each other eventually. But if it doesn't need to happen by launch, kind of just ignore it for a little bit. And we take them into consideration. Whenever you're building a system, you want to look to, like I recently just finished a really in-depth technical and design document for the arena. And we were coming up with things that we might want to potentially add to it in the future. Features we may want to extend it, places we want to, so we can, when we're building certain multiple features for the arena now, we can predict where those extensions are going to happen and not make decisions now that'll cause those extensions to be problems down the road. But that doesn't mean that we're actually figuring out how to make them work and making them work yet. I'm really good at finding good boots. It's like my talent. You need to go shoe shopping. Bring this Primeless with you. You'll end up buying faux leather, but that's okay. It's cheaper. As a developer, are you aware of the performance issues of PoE even on high-end PCs? Are you going to focus on performance and get smooth combat in your game? Yeah, having smooth so okay, I haven't. My computer's good, but I don't think I would call it a like super high-end PC or anything like that. Like this, like I'm running a 1080 Ti, a 4-year-old i7 at this point. You know, there's 32 gigs of RAM, an M.2 drive. So you know, like a decent computer, but nothing amazing. Showing its age a little bit. So I don't have much personal experience on super high-end PCs running Path of Exile on like max settings with like the absolute nuts maps going crazy and everything. But yes, we do pay attention to it as a whole. And it's kind of irrelevant how they perform with things like that. We just got to make our game work as well as we can. Like we can't use them also not working well in certain situations as an excuse for us not working well, you know? Performance is a very high priority for us. The highest priority right now is multiplayer, getting that working, getting that functioning, getting it stable. Performance is a huge part of our of making multiplayer better as well, making multiplayer stable. Performance helps with that. So if you have improving the performance in the game directly saves us money. Like we have quantifiable numbers that we can say, like, okay, if we drop the number of CPU cycles that the game spends on average just rendering, or not rendering, just setting up a level, or calculating which enemies are attacking and damage calculations, things like that. Like if we can just save CPU time in those things, we literally can have a we can see the amount of money we're gonna save, you know. And sometimes that comes down to just being able to run more game servers per physical machine. And that can be a big difference. So like say we're at X game servers per physical machine, and we make some huge performance leap, and we suddenly have like 1.1 X game servers per machine. That's a 10% savings on game servers. Like, that's huge. You know, it doesn't sound like much, right? So yeah, performance is a big deal for us, and we're definitely working on that. Yeah, Diddles, that's a extremely low estimate that you put there. It's an unbelievably low estimate you put there. Hi there, it's nice to see you pushing development hard. Is Unity helping you out in some way, or do you have to deal with engine issues comes with development on your own? I mean, there's like we do have a contact with Unity that we can talk to them about certain things, and I can't really get into the details of that relationship and everything, but yeah, like we do have contact with third-party producers for various things. Like we've contact with Unity, we've contact with NVIDIA, we've contact with AMD. There's lots of different companies that we've contact with that help us with various different things. Sometimes there's like something will pop up and we'll contact someone and like we'll think this is this really hard and impossible thing. Let's be like, yes, flick this switch that's labeled 741 for no reason, and it fixes your problem. You know, every once in a while something like that happens and it's great. But like Unity is interesting because Unity's kind of built in Unity. So as a project gets bigger and as you work with it longer, you start building tools yourself, and start making modifications to it yourself that sort of change how it works and change the responsibility of who supports how it works a little bit. just because I'm a curious Nancy. How much does a single server cost so player can have and understand? I can't tell you that. Mostly because I do not know what that number is, and that number changes based on all sorts of things. And honestly, even if I did know that number, I probably wouldn't be allowed to say it. Checking out AWS EC2 servers costs will not give you a very good idea on how much it actually costs. Sorry. Mostly because we don't use AWS. We're getting pretty close to the end here. I guess I should. Hey, I'm just going to pause for a brief moment here. I'm just going to toss this up. Little turnabout sheet. So this is just the same thing as before, but get a little bit better view of it so you can see from different angles what's going on. I don't know why I'm stopping now to do this. I just glanced down and noticed we don't have much time left in stream. But this boy looks great, rocking around. I think what it was, I was like, he would look really good in this map, especially with all the blue and the red stick out. And I did not set it to loop. Noob, Mike, rookie mistake. There you go. Tell me that fire armor is for my sentinel. Well, it's kinda. It'll follow your sentinel around. Does that count? I have a feeling it doesn't, but you know, worth a shot. What is this? Yes, if you missed it, the comparison of the old to new manifest armor, I will show it again before the end of the stream because I think it's pretty freaking cool. I just should have had a version that I could crop and just leave up. It does Summoner Sentinel, yeah.
Impossible.
You're going to change the name of Titan's Mace then, mate? Yeah. We may need to. Oh, so this is what I'm talking about. You know, like there's performance is not quite perfect yet. Still working on it. So there's some issues there. Without taking things too technical, what networking solution do you go with for Last Epoch? An existing product, pun, mirror racknet, or a custom solution? And is there any interesting challenge that you can overcome that would make for a good story? Yeah, there's it's a combination of the two. So we try to have in-house solutions for everything we can. There's a lot of information about this actually in the multiplayer development updates and now just development updates, game development updates that have come out over the course of the last year or so that are on the devblog section of our forums by Stanswar. I think there's 4 of them, question mark, maybe more, maybe less. And there's a little bit of details in there. I can't go over exactly. There are some packages we are using that are like pre-built systems for certain things. We try to use as few of those as possible, and when we do, we try to make sure that they are pretty customizable. You know, good support, all stuff like that. Our actual like the where we get our servers from is a like a preset thing. Like they're we're not buying our own physical boxes. Like there's a company that what they do is they have game servers for people to use. That's what their whole company does, and they've got them all over the world and set up ready to rock and tested with lots of other games. That if you have interest in Last Epoch, there's a really good chance you've used some of their servers before in other games you played, type thing. We were doing a multiplayer test, and got the big Ice Beetle shrine. Everyone got multiple Ice Beetles, and there was a lot of Ice Beetles rocking around the map. It was a little nuts. Everything was just frozen. It was fun. I don't want my pets to look cooler than me, though. Well, too bad. Don't use manifest armor then. Find some really awesome looking armor for yourself. There we go. That's the solution. Nailed it. First try. All right. What are we looking at now? Let's go find some info. I want to see the area. So shrines are partly shared then in multiplayer. They're completely shared. Well, or not shared at all. Everybody gets the shrine. You don't have to. Well, everyone who's in range gets the shrine. So there's the range is pretty huge. I know we actually like the range is still something that's being changed. We just cranked the range up really high. Initial implementation of it had the range way too low and it sucked. It was like, gather around, make sure everyone's touching the shrine when we pop it. But now it's basically like, okay, are you anywhere even remotely close? Cool, you get it. And because like all the shrines that drop items, it drops items for everyone. Because loot's instanced. It gives the buff to everyone, not just the person who presses it. You know, if it's ice beetles, everyone gets beetles. If it's the extremely rare bee shrine, everyone gets bees. I haven't seen the bee shrine in multiplayer yet, but I'm sure it would be amazing. You just got to believe in yourself. You know, he just did, like, this, it was one of the first times that they actually animated a character after the voice acting was done. So Rob Williams just got in the studio and just was making all these voices and setting up all these scenes with just his voice, and they did the genie's animation based on the characters he created in the studio, doing the voice acting. So they had like the main hits, but when the genie kind of like goes off, making a bunch of references and being weird, and just absolutely magical. That was a lot of it was changed for the characters he created, just improvising in the studio. That's really cool. Man was a genius. Oh my god. Have y'all considered making shards auto pick up like gold, or maybe auto transfer the vault instead of sitting in the inventory? Yes, we've considered it many dozen times. It's not currently planned, by the way. Just in case that wasn't clear from the yes, we considered it a whole bunch answer. Alright, we're gonna we've hit time. We're gonna finish up this one echo, and that'll be that. So if you have any last minute questions, please slap those down in chat real quick, and I will try and hammer out as many as I can here. Looks like we're winding down pretty well, though. I had a really good stream today. I hope you guys had fun. Do you think of a shrine build could be fun? Do you think if a shrine build could be fun in the game? Something like increases the amount of shrines, or something that increases the chance specific shrines to show up on maps. Yeah, I think there's some fun stuff you could do in there. I'm not huge on the idea of like making that the build's identity as a whole. Like I know there's items that interact with shrines in Diablo 3 that are extremely popular, like Nemesis braces, and I think it's really cool. But it's something that you try and kind of like slip into your build rather than define the build, I think. And there's like there's more than one and they work together, so you kind of end up having like this Nemesis bracers shell for a couple things in your cube that interact really well together. If you have like sort of room in your build to have your Nemesis bracer shell go in there, you do. It might be too far, it might be good, I don't know how I feel about it exactly, but I do like the concept of having some extra items augment interactions with shrines, but not be build defining. Last question, how are you doing? We always ask what you're doing, but never how you're doing. It's a reference to our Discord Epoch bot. If anyone doesn't know and hangs out in our Discord, we have a great place over there with lots of people talking all the time. Head on over to the Discord and ask more questions if I missed anything today. I'm doing great. I'm feeling good. Got friends coming to play Magic tonight. I'm going to put up a fence tomorrow. Feeling good. I'll ask a couple questions here. When's the next controller update planned? It feels pretty good in gameplay. Man, I've had to respec points like 15 times when leveling to 52. It just does bizarre things with a controller. I don't know if there's any like major plans for things, but there's always little tweaks that go in with the controller, so that every update every major patch will have at least something. Said when it came in, but wanted to say that I appreciate how much you guys care about your game, comes through in your work. Thank you very much. And on that note, it's time to end. I hope you had a good time. I hope you had fun. I know I did. We'll see you next time. Thanks for stopping by. Be mastery when it's ready.